Long before the glittering skyscrapers and luxury resorts of Dubai rose from the desert, the land was but a stretch of golden sands kissed by the waters of the Arabian Gulf. In this harsh yet majestic landscape, survival was a daily struggle, and only those who respected the desert's rhythm could endure. For centuries, Bedouin tribes roamed these endless dunes, guided by stars at night and an unshakable bond with their camels, the ships of the desert. The coastline, though quiet, was a gift of fortune. Here, fishermen cast their nets into the turquoise shallows, pulling out treasures of the sea. Pearling became the lifeblood of the small villages scattered along the Gulf, with divers plunging into the depths in search of pearls that would one day travel across oceans, adorning kings and queens in faraway lands. These early people did not yet know that their humble settlements would one day transform into one of the world's greatest cities. The heart of what would later be known as Dubai was a simple creek and natural inlet from the sea. It provided shelter for boats, a hub for trade, and a meeting place where merchants exchanged goods, stories, and hopes. Caravan routes snaked through the desert, bringing spices from India, silk from China, and incense from Oman. Even in those early days, this land was a bridge between worlds. Yet life remained modest. There were no towers of glass, no fountains dancing under the desert sun, no highways filled with roaring engines. Only sand, sea, and sky. And in that simplicity, the seeds of greatness were quietly sown, waiting for destiny to awaken them. As the centuries rolled on, the humble creek became more than just a natural harbor. It became the heartbeat of commerce. By the early 19th century, small clusters of huts made from palm fronds had expanded into a bustling settlement. The people of this land began to understand that their true wealth was not only in pearls or fish, but in trade. The creek offered a safe anchorage for dhows, those elegant wooden sailing vessels that carried cargo across the Arabian Gulf, the Indian Ocean, and beyond. Traders from Persia, India, and East Africa would dock their ships along the shore, their decks piled high with spices, textiles, and precious stones. In return, the people of Dubai offered dates, pearls, and warm hospitality. Slowly, this tiny port village became a crossroads of culture, where languages mingled in the air and markets rang with the calls of merchants. Leadership played a vital role in this transformation. In 1833, the Al Maktoum family established their rule over Dubai, laying the foundations of the city's stability. Their vision was clear. Dubai would remain open to traders, welcoming those who sought opportunity, no matter their origin. This spirit of openness, rare in an age of rivalry, attracted more ships, more merchants, and more dreams. Pearling continued to flourish, and for decades, it defined the rhythm of life. Men would dive deep into the sea, holding their breath in search of the glimmering orbs, while families prayed for their safe return. The wealth from these pearls turned Dubai into a respected name across the region. Yet, the people could not imagine that the tides of fortune would soon shift, sweeping away their dependence on the sea and leading them toward an entirely new destiny. By the early 20th century, Dubai had firmly established itself as a thriving pearling and trading center. The creek bustled with life, its waters reflecting the sails of countless dhows, and the souk overflowed with goods from distant lands. Yet, destiny has a way of reshaping fortunes. In the 1930s, a shadow fell over Dubai's prosperity when the pearl industry collapsed. The rise of cultured pearls from Japan swept across global markets, rendering natural pearls far less valuable. Overnight, the very foundation of Dubai's economy crumbled. Families who once lived in comfort from the sea's bounty now faced hardship. Hunger and poverty gripped the settlement, and many questioned whether Dubai's golden age had ended before it had truly begun. But in adversity, seeds of resilience often take root. The Al Maktoum rulers, known for their pragmatism, refused to let despair define their people. They sought new opportunities to keep trade alive. Dubai's position on the map remained a blessing. It was a gateway between East and West, a midpoint for merchants navigating the oceans. To secure its future, Dubai opened its arms even wider to foreign traders, reducing taxes and ensuring safe passage for ships. This openness gave the city a new identity, a haven for commerce in turbulent times. Merchants from Iran, India, and across the Arabian Peninsula chose Dubai as their new home, bringing with them wealth, culture, and knowledge. Though the pearl divers could no longer count on the sea, the spirit of trade still flowed through the creek like an unbroken current. Dubai had endured its first great trial. Unbeknownst to its people, beneath the desert sands and offshore waters lay a hidden treasure one that would not only change Dubai's fate, but also reshape the destiny of the entire region. The turning point arrived in the mid-20th century, when whispers of black gold began to stir the desert air. In 1966, after years of exploration, oil was discovered in Dubai's Fatah oil field, lying deep beneath the waters of the Gulf. For a city that had endured hardship, this was nothing short of a miracle. The resource promised wealth beyond imagination, but more importantly, it offered the means to build a future that had long been only a dream. Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed Al Maktoum, the visionary ruler of Dubai, understood that oil was not an eternal gift, but a fleeting opportunity. Rather than hoarding the newfound wealth, he invested it in infrastructure. Roads were paved across the desert, bridges connected communities, and the creek was dredged to welcome larger ships, ensuring Dubai's role as a global trading hub. Schools, hospitals, and housing projects began to rise, transforming the lives of ordinary people who had once struggled to survive. In just a few decades, the dusty settlement began to evolve into a modern city. Electricity lit up homes, clean water flowed through pipes, and airports connected Dubai to the wider world. Oil revenue was the spark, but it was the leadership's foresight that fanned the flames of progress. Unlike some places that grew dependent on oil, Dubai's rulers knew that the sands of fortune could shift once again. They sought to diversify, investing in trade, services, and infrastructure that would outlast the wells. Oil was not the destination. It was the bridge to something greater. As towers of steel began to rise where once stood only tents and palm huts, the world started to take notice. Dubai was no longer a struggling village by the creek. It was becoming a beacon of possibility in the desert. By the late 20th century, Dubai had already set itself apart, but the true transformation came in the decades that followed. Guided by Sheikh Rashid's vision and later carried forward by his son, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the city embraced ambition without limits. Oil revenues had laid the foundation, but it was innovation, determination, and imagination that would sculpt Dubai into a global icon. The desert began to glitter with marvels of human engineering. The world's tallest building, the Burj Khalifa, pierced the sky as a symbol of Dubai's boundless ambition. Artificial islands shaped like palm trees, and even the world map rose from the sea, showcasing creativity on a scale the world had never seen. The city reinvented itself as a hub for tourism, finance, and technology, ensuring its prosperity long after the oil wells run dry. Airports became gateways linking east and west, while free zones welcomed entrepreneurs from across the globe. The souk that once traded pearls were now joined by vast malls, offering everything from gold to luxury fashion. Festivals, cultural events, and global expos brought together people of all nations, making Dubai a meeting point of cultures in the 21st century, just as it had been in the days of the old creek. Yet amid the skyscrapers and supercars, the spirit of the desert endures. The resilience of the Bedouins, the openness of the traders, and the vision of the rulers remain etched into the city's identity. Dubai is more than just a place. It is a story of transformation, a living testament that from the simplest beginnings, greatness can emerge. Today, as the sun sets over the Arabian Gulf, its golden reflection dances across glass towers, whispering the tale of a city that rose from sand to stars.